Look at this dude.
What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hey man, if you haven't already done so, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, smash the like button, click that bell while you're at it so you can be a part of the Post Noti gang family, best family on YouTube. That's no cap, hands down. Hey man, we are here for Ray William Johnson. He caused the worst disaster in cruise ship history. Damn. I watched the documentary recently. Actually, it was a cruise ship, and I forget how many people was on board, but they were stuck at sea for like a week, bro, with no food, or they had little bit of food. Toilets weren't working, power wasn't working, things were flooding, stuff like, I forget what it's called, but anyways, I wonder if he's talking about the same story. But we're gonna do less talking, more reacting. Let's dive right into this video. Let go.
So this cruise ship wrecks, and the captain abandons it, and he leaves about 4,000 people there to die. Now the captain's name is Francesco, and Francesco is 51 years old.
You gonna take 4,000 people out to sea to crash the boat, and you leave them to die? And you think you was gonna get away with it?
Living in Italy, and dude is the captain of this big-ass cruise ship that operates off the coast of Italy called the Costa Concordia. And one night in 2012, Francesco is piloting this boat with over 4,000 passengers and crew on board. And that is when he gets this idea.
I wonder if this is the same story, because the cruise ship that I was just talking about, I think it was on Netflix or Hulu, but it was 4,000 people as well. So
yeah, that's gonna change his life forever. He decides he's gonna perform a sail-by salute. And that is when ships will sail really close to land, and sometimes they'll blow the horn. It's called a sail-by salute. And this will give everyone on the boat a cool view of the island they're passing, and I guess he's just trying to show off. And since he thinks this is going to be impressive, he invites a woman up to the bridge of the ship to watch.
Man, I swear, dudes be doing the most sometimes to try to impress a female, bruh. And a lot of the times, it gets you into trouble when you do the most, bruh. Like, it's just chill, bruh.
The whole thing. But not just any woman, it's this woman, who we'll call Mistress, because she just happens to be Francesco's mistress, who is half his age. And this is an actual picture of her, just straight up looking like a mistress. And Francesco's married, by the way, so of course he's smashing with this much younger woman on the side. And because they're smashing, she's on this cruise for free. So she's humping the captain, so there is no charge for the
she a gold digger.
Buffet or whatever. Anyway, so Francesco wants to get the ship close to this island so that he can show off, and he decides he wants to do this sail-by salute manually. Which he doesn't have to do it manually. Cruise ships are very technologically advanced. But I guess using that technology doesn't make him look very badass in front of his mistress. So he turns off the alarm for
once again, doing the fucking most, bro.
The computer navigation.
That punani can't be that good. You're putting 4,000 people at risk right now, bruh.
System. And under normal circumstances, this alarm would warn him if he were to get too close to shore or whatever. But I guess Francesco doesn't really care. So there he is on the bridge of the ship, chatting up his mistress, trying to flex and explain to her how incredible it is that he's steering the boat manually instead of using the navigation system, and he's the only one who's a good enough captain to be able to do such a thing because
so he thought.
He knows the area super well and everything's definitely gonna be okay and the boat is totally not gonna crash. Until Francesco really screws up. He forgot his reading glasses, so I guess he can't really see what any of his instruments are saying. And I don't know if it's like too late to run and get them, or he just doesn't want to be seen in them, but he doesn't go and get them, and I guess he's also distracted by looking at his mistress, who is looking all fine, I guess. So...
oh, I know this dude has got to be in prison right now, bruh.
He just keeps...
This happened back in 2012, so we're talking about, what, 13 years ago? He probably still in that bit.
Asking the first officer to check the radar to make sure the ship is good. So pretty quickly, they're in the middle of this sail-by salute, and they're moving close to the island, and...
my question is, since we already know he dipped out and left the ship to leave him to die, pretty much. But I wonder if he left the mistress on board as well, or if the mistress went with him.
And suddenly, boom, he sees waves breaking on the rocks, and he's like, Mamma mia, because he realizes that he has misjudged the distance. He's not supposed to be this close to the rocks. So he tries to steer and swing the ship to the side to avoid it. But unfortunately, it's too late. And kapow! He scrapes the hull of the ship across the rocks, and this rips a massive 164-foot hole in it. And down below, the head of the engine room calls up, and he's like, yeah, we got a problem down here. There's a big-ass gash in the side of the ship, and water is...
That is one big-ass problem, that's for sure.
Just pouring in, and it has submerged the generators and the engines, and now there's no propulsion and no backup electric power, and some of the instruments are failing, and so then, boom, the power goes out. So now all the passengers are suddenly sitting in darkness.
I will say this definitely wasn't the story from Hulu or Netflix, whatever the two that it was on. So this is a whole different occasion, but that's crazy. This makes me not want to go on cruise ships no more. I'm seeing too many stories about cruise ships crashing and stuff, bro.
And to make it worse, all this water coming in shifts the weight of the ship and makes the whole thing start tilting to one side. And of course the passengers are panicking at this.
At least they were close to the land. You feel me? The swim wouldn't be that far to get to the shore. So
point. Because
at least they weren't in the middle of the ocean. You feel me?
most of the power is out and the boat is leaning, and they're like, what the hell is happening here? And so the ship is slowly sinking to its side, and it eventually comes to rest in more shallow waters as it runs up on the ground. But water is still rushing in. So Francesco immediately starts freaking out because he knows he really screwed up. He tells one of the crew just to let the Coast Guard know that they only experienced a little blackout and that they don't really need assistance. This is no big deal.
No big
and
deal.
Also,
no big deal. You got a big ass 164-foot hole in your ship. No big deal. There's just 4,000 people on board. We're all sinking slowly. But no big deal. It's just a blackout.
make an announcement to the passengers telling them not to panic and that everything is fine. However, obviously everything is not fine.
Hell no.
And about an hour goes by, and some of the passengers finally report the wreck to Port Authority, and a little bit after that, Francesco gives the passengers and crew the order to evacuate. So basically, the passengers are ordered to put on their life vests and head toward the lifeboats, but to be calm about it. However, as time goes on, the ship keeps tilting more and more, and that makes it hard to launch the lifeboats. And you can actually see the ship tilting here. And now eventually, the whole boat tilts over on its side. Now, this is an actual photo of it taken the next day at daylight. And here's another picture, and here's another one. I mean, look at that. That looks insane. Now, at this point in the story, people are still evacuating, and it's all chaos. I mean, there are over 4,000 passengers and crew on this thing, so this is not a fast process. And a good ship captain would be leading
But he was gone. He already dipped out of that bit. He said, I'm out.
this effort to get his passengers to safety, and he would be on the ship until everything was handled. Because, you know, like a good captain goes down with his ship. I believe that's the saying. Here's the thing, though. Francesco is just not that guy, and he takes a very different approach. He's like, fuck all this, and he gets in a lifeboat.
Like I said, he said, I'm out of here.
And he is sailing away to safety toward the harbor. Now, somehow, the Coast Guard gets in touch with him, I guess by radio. And the Coast Guard is pissed. They're like, where the hell are you? And Francesco tells them that he had accidentally left his ship because he... and I'm not making this up.
How do you accidentally leave your ship, bruh?
Fell into a lifeboat, and that lifeboat made its way to the harbor where he is now safe. And the Coast Guard is like, you're the fucking captain! Get the hell back on your ship! Help people evacuate! Because, like, this is a serious matter. The ship is on its side. They need to know how many people are still on board. If those people need...
So wait, where's the... maybe I missed it, but has he explained about the mistress? Is the mistress still on the boat?
Need help.
On the
What
ship?
help do they need? Are people dead? Like, these are things a captain is supposed to know. And so Francesco tells them that he's trying to get back on the ship, but in fact, he is not. Not only did he make it to land at this point, but he was actually one of the first people to make it to land, beating all the
I don't see the mistress anywhere around, bruh.
other passengers. He's like, oh, f all this, I'm getting out of here. And he beat everyone there. And so anyway, a police officer sees Francesco and he runs up to him and he offers to get him a small boat to return to the ship to help the passengers evacuate.
Let me guess, the captain said, oh no, I'm good.
And Francesco is like, nah, I'm good. Meanwhile, there are people from the island, like actual pedestrians, sailing out there in whatever vessels they own to try and help the passengers off this boat. And between that and the Coast Guard sending ships and helicopters, they are ultimately able to help most of the people evacuate safely. But unfortunately, some people do drown, some people get injured from the ship tilting, and some people get trapped.
So people did lose their lives during this accident. So yeah, bro is in prison right now for sure.
And in total, 32 people don't make it. And so the next day, bam, Captain Francesco is arrested. And I don't have a mugshot, but here's a real life picture of him. And he eventually goes to trial, and he's found guilty of manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, and abandoning a vessel. I didn't even know that was illegal. But he gets sentenced to 16 years in prison.
Oh, so he's actually about to get out. Because this happened in 2012. Like I said, it's been 13 years. He's about to get out in a few years. That's crazy. Damn. So he's about to be walking the streets here soon, y'all. Don't get on any cruise ships in the next few years, because, yeah, that could be your day. Nah, he won't ever be able to be a captain ever again, bro. Anyways, y'all, if you guys made it to the end, I do greatly appreciate it. Smash the like button, leave a comment, click that bell while you're at it. And until next time, I'm going to see y'all next time. I'm out.